In the words of that band that one time, whoa, we're halfway there. That's right. Championship case number 8 out of 16. We go through all 16 drivers in the NASCAR playoffs and talk about how they can win the championship. Today, we're talking about Prosper, Texas's own Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher is having a career year. He entered this season with only 2 career wins. This season alone, he has 2 wins. He won his first race of the season at Richmond and then backed it up the very next week at Michigan. So back-to-back wins, different styles of racetracks. And Chris Buescher, I feel like we talked about this with Christopher Bell yesterday, but consistent this year. He's top 10 in regular season points, which has been very impressive for RFK considering where they've been since 2014, 2015. And he's really setting career highs in every single category. Obviously, the wins. This is his first ever multi-win season. He has 5 top 5s through 24 races. That is the most he's had in his career in a single season. He has tied his career high in top 10s with 10 top 10s. He tied last year, which is what he had last year. And he's led 229 laps. He has never led that many laps in a single season. Prior to this season, he had never led 200 laps in a season. So it has been extremely impressive by Chris Buescher this year, what that team has done, what RFK has done overall. And point number 1, as always, as I always say in every video, get yourself some playoff points. There's no such thing as too many playoff points. Kevin Harvick 2020, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, Buescher is in the top 10 in points. If you finish in the top 10 in points, you get bonus points. He currently has 11, I think, from the 2 wins and a stage win. Let me confirm here. Yes, he has 1 stage win, so 11 playoff points. And as of today, he would have an extra playoff point from finishing 10th in the standings. However, I think he can get up to 5th. 5th is a little bit of a long shot. I think 7th, though, is realistic. I think he's within 20 points of that. And we got 2 tracks coming up that are good for him. We got a road course and a super speedway, but we're not here to talk about the end of the regular season. We're here to talk about a Chris Buescher playoff run to the championship 4. Can it happen? Maybe. How will it happen? This is potentially how. That first round, we have Darlington. Bristol is in there. Oh, I skipped Kansas. Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. Now, Chris Buescher, this is the most competitive car he has been in the Cup Series, I would say, where he has been competing for top 10s on a consistent basis, where he's had winning speed at times. So this is really kind of hard to compare his career stats versus what he's done this year, but he's been impressive this year almost everywhere. I would say top 15 speed at most tracks. I think they still excel, RFK, they still excel on the short tracks, road courses, along with the super speedways. But obviously that win at Michigan, they showed some speed at the intermediate tracks as well. So Darlington and Kansas, I think he can run well at Darlington. Kansas, I think he can run well as well. But it's going to be a tough one just because I think there are going to be cars definitely better than him. You look at the Toyotas are always good there since the next gen car. Kyle Larson has always been good there. The other Hendrick cars have been kind of hit or miss. But for those guys, it's been success. Whereas for Ford, it's been a little bit more of a struggle, which is my biggest concern. But Ford has turned it up the last few weeks. They, as of today, have 3 consecutive wins at Richmond, Michigan, and the Indianapolis road course. And Buescher's in the tight points battle right here. But I do think he can get out of this round because of this last race, the Bristol night race. It's a short track, which I just said. RFK is really good at the short tracks. And Chris Buescher is the defending winner of this race. They showed winning speed at Richmond, and it was very impressive. Like, if there wasn't a caution with 5 to go, Buescher would have won by over 7 seconds. So he has shown impressive speed on the short tracks. He's won at short tracks, and in fact, he's the defending winner of this race, as I said. So I think he can get out of this first round. Will it be easy? Maybe not, but I think with Bristol in there, that's going to help a lot. And with their consistency, as I said, I think they can get out of that first round. The second round, I actually really like for Chris Buescher. A lot of these top contenders, I'll say, this is the wild card round. This could trip him up. But for Buescher, honestly, there's nothing to lose. He's only made the playoffs once, back when he was with Front Row, and they got that win in 2016, and he was knocked out in the first round. But I don't think there's really that much pressure on Buescher. They've outperformed expectations already by making the playoffs, by winning multiple races before the playoffs. So I don't see any pressure. Yes, they may have internal pressure, not like a you're going to get fired if you don't advance, but like a, oh, I think we can make a deep run kind of pressure. But honestly, there's really no external pressure for Chris Buescher and all of RFK. This even includes Brad Keselowski. I think that's how they have to enter this round. This round is very favorable for him. You have a super speedway in Talladega where Buescher has ran well the past few years. He's won like 4 stages there. It's so random. He's won a bunch of stages there. The road course, the Charlotte Roval, Buescher, prior to the last week at Indianapolis, had 9 straight top 10s, I think, on road courses. This next-gen car in the road courses, Buescher has it figured out. He's competed for wins at some of these road courses like Sonoma. So if he can top 10 at Roval, if he can get stage points and fight for the win at Talladega, and then you got his home track at Texas, get a sentimental value in there. Get yourself a top 10, potentially compete for the win there. Hopefully it doesn't become a tire fiasco there, but get yourself a hometown win. That'd be cool. But on a serious note, I think Texas, once again, it's so unpredictable just after we didn't really get a real feel of it last year. But if it's based off the intermediates this year, they can compete for sure. But as I said with Kansas, it's going to be difficult for them to be in winning contention. I still think it's possible. I'm not saying it's out of the question. We saw what happened at Michigan. But the reality is there's going to be other guys contending for the win. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, William Byron, the big teams, the bigger teams, I should say, are going to be up there competing for the win. As for the other two, I think Buescher's he has a legitimate shot at winning those other two, Talladega and the Roval, because of how well he has run on that style of track. Let's say he gets it done. He gets it done at the Roval. He wins himself a race and goes to the round of 8. This is where it's tricky. This is his tricky round because there's 2 intermediates in there, and like I said with Texas, there's going to be guys better than him. There's going to be guys ahead of him in points. It's going to be a tight point situation before the round even starts. He has 11 points. Reality, he's probably going to be below the cut line. Truex is going to have more points than him. Hamlin, Larson, Byron, that's 4 right off the bat that are going to have more points than him. So he's going to be in the negative on the points. It may come down to a must-win. Vegas and Homestead, and now don't forget, Chris Buescher has won a stage at Homestead back in 2021, I think. 2020, 2021, one of those years. So that was the old generation of car, but if they can show up with that speed again, you never know. But in reality, I think Martinsville, they have a shot at winning. Brad Keselowski was in contention for this thing last year, was in the top 3 with a handful of laps to go. I think he ended up finishing 4th or 5th because Ross Chastain decided to do the Hail Melon. But I think that Buescher, that short track speed, that is going to be what carries them to the championship for that speed they've shown on that style of track. It'll get them out of the first round. The speed on the road course and the super speedway will get them out of the second round. And if they get to that championship 4, I think it'll be a win at Martinsville that gets them there. And if Chris Buescher makes it to the championship 4, you bet I will be in Prosper, Texas, watching the race from Prosper, because I'm like 20 minutes away from Prosper, Texas. So yes, if Chris Buescher's in the championship, or write it down today, I will be in Prosper watching the race and starting a parade if Chris Buescher pulls it off. And if Chris Buescher pulls it off, it's at Phoenix Raceway. Well, good news. I think that's a short track. So maybe good news. But Ford has run well at this track. They've won 2 of the 3 races there in the next-gen car. Chase Briscoe and Logano last year, and then William Byron this spring. Chevy really dominated there, so Ford needs to pick up their game. But they have been picking up their game as of recent. As we've seen, they've won 3 straight races. But, I mean, with that speed they showed, not just Ford, but what RFK showed at Richmond, boy. I think if Buescher gets there, he's got a real shot at this thing. He's going to be a heavy underdog. It's going to be Joe Gibbs, Hendrick in there, maybe even a Trackhouse. Everyone's going to be talking about them. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, Chris Buescher's there too. He's an underdog. Yeah, root for the underdog. But I don't think anyone's going to think he can do it. It's possible. I think it's possible if he gets there. We will see, though. Thank you for watching this video. So to wrap things up, that first round, it's going to be a tough point situation, but they're going to show winning speed at Bristol, I think, and I think that'll carry them a long way. Second round, Talladega and the Roval being in there actually helps them versus hurting them. I think they could win either one of those races. That third round is going to be tricky in the point situation, having two intermediates in there, but Martinsville is a winning possibility. And then as for Phoenix, top three could crash lap one. Buescher's your champion. Anyways, on a serious note, though, they have shown speed on the short tracks this year. I think Phoenix, they can very well show speed there. Ford won 2 of these races last year. They won the championship last year. Can Chris Buescher bring Jack Roush back to championship glory? We will see. But Prosper Texas' Zone will try his best. Man, I really hope that would be so cool if he won. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. We will continue on next week, starting on Monday. Once again, we'll get it back up and rolling. As for tomorrow, I might do a qualifying report. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to do a short little video in the morning. It was recorded 7 years ago. It's a burnout from the 2016 Watkins Glen race, so I'm going to post that. I've been meaning to post that for years, but I figured it's Watkins Glen week. Why not? So I'll do that tomorrow or Sunday morning. And then Sunday, I might do or Saturday late morning, early afternoon, I might do a qualifying report. And then Sunday, we will have the race recap. So look forward to that. And then we will start up with the championship cases again on Monday. As always, in the community post, I'll update you on the schedule of the championship cases. And I put out a quiz today. I've always wanted to do that feature, and I just randomly felt like, yeah, we're doing it today. I did it today. If you guys like the quizzes, let me know. I'll do more of them. I might just make it a daily thing. It doesn't take that long to come up with a question. It doesn't take that long to put together, and it seems like people enjoy it, the YouTube quizzes, so I may start doing those for you all. So thank you again for watching. Have a great rest of your day.